Hello everyone and welcome back to Ruby Tarot. Thank you so much for always tuning in and supporting this channel. The moment you're watching this video is the perfect time for you to receive this message. On this channel, I always bring messages about what's about to unfold in your life. When you open your heart and trust in positive possibilities, you're also aligning yourself with a parallel reality, one where your wishes have already come true. Today, through this tarot reading, I hope to help you unlock the doors to future possibilities and support you on your journey toward love and the manifestation of your deepest desires. The theme of today's reading is, what blessing is coming your way? I've prepared 3 cards corresponding to Pile 1, Pile 2, and Pile 3. Take a moment to listen to your intuition and choose the card that draws you in the most. Then, click on the timestamp in the description to go directly to your reading. Now, let's begin the session for those of you who've already made your choice. Hello to everyone who chose Pile 1. Thank you for your patience. Now, I'll begin the reading for those of you who selected this first pile. I hope this reading brings you healing, fresh insights, and moments filled with love and warmth. The theme of today's reading is, what blessing is coming your way? Before we dive into what's about to unfold, there's an important message coming through very clearly that I'd like to share with you first. There are 2 main messages being conveyed here. First, I can strongly sense that the central part of your body, what we might call the core of your life force energy, is currently cold. Your body temperature may have slightly dropped. There might be poor blood circulation, or your body may be covered in cold, stagnant energy. Even if, on the surface, you occasionally feel sudden bursts of heat or warmth, deep down at the very center it feels icy. That's why, even though I understand that moving your body isn't always easy, due to a busy lifestyle or lack of time, the cards are offering a very simple piece of advice. Try opening and closing your hands gently. Just the motion of softly clenching and releasing your fists. You can even do this while sitting in the restroom. You don't need anything complicated. Additionally, you can try gently lifting your feet and letting them sway up and down a little, just like a light warm-up. Even small, subtle movements like these can already help improve circulation and warm your body. What I want to emphasize here is that the part of your body that's cold is the center, specifically pointed out by the cards as the area related to the womb. If you're a woman, this is literally the womb, an area that holds deep emotional and creative energy. If you're a man, this represents your lower abdomen, your root chakra, the foundation of your vitality and physical strength. The cards further point out that your abdominal region, particularly the intestines, may be experiencing inflammation or coldness. It feels like the energy in this area is not flowing well, perhaps blocked or stagnant. Once your blood circulation begins to improve, this area will also start to detox and purify. Therefore, in addition to the gentle hand motions mentioned earlier, if possible, try doing a few light shoulder rolls. Just rotating your shoulders in circles a few times can have an excellent effect. These small but consistent movements will help your body's energy flow more freely and naturally. Alongside the message about physical well-being, there is another message that stands out, one that speaks to the emotional realm, and that is the feeling of loneliness. It seems that someone may be carrying within them a sense of unease, a fear of being alone. I sense that, for those of you who resonate with this, the root of this loneliness comes from a deeper place, a feeling that you're not truly connected to anything. This is a message that arises from the deeper layers of your subconscious. Outwardly, you may still be surrounded by family or friends. You go about your day, exchanging greetings, offering thanks, engaging in familiar conversations. Everything may seem as though you're living in a world full of people, surrounded by interactions. Some of you may even live with family, with your spouse or children by your side. And yet, you might still feel a kind of loneliness that you can't quite explain. It's as if no one truly connects with you, as if no one really touches your soul. And that very feeling gives rise to a deep-seated anxiety, a sensation of drifting with no place to spiritually anchor yourself. The cards are pointing to this as a lack of soul connection. It's not about the physical presence of people around you, but about the deeper, more authentic bond, an emotional or spiritual connection that genuinely touches your heart. And this message expands even further. Even if you cannot see it with your eyes, you are still connected to the light. The fact that you're sitting here, watching this video today, is itself proof of a connection between you and me, a bond that exists right here in this moment. And not just between you and me, but between you and many other things in life. It could be the connections you once had with people you're no longer in contact with, friends you've parted ways with, or even a beloved pet that's no longer physically by your side. The card is telling you that even if, Deep down, you feel like you're losing your sense of attachment to the world around you. From the perspective of higher beings, those sources of light that exist on higher energy planes, you are still deeply connected. These connections may not be visible to the eye, but they are absolutely real. Moreover, as long as you are walking on this earth, as long as your feet are touching the ground, that alone is already a profound form of connection. Mother Earth, representing nature and the life force, is always beneath your feet. That alone is proof that you are connected to life, to the universe, to the sacred. The soul, by its very nature, has no physical form. This body is simply a vessel, a shell that allows the soul to experience the material world. And through this body, you can touch the earth, walk upon it, breathe in the air. All of these things are undeniable proof that you are part of the flow of life, deeply and truly connected with nature. So there is nothing to fear, nothing to feel anxious about. You are not alone. You are connected to so many things, and that connection is real. That is what the cards are emphasizing here, so that you can feel more grounded and at peace within yourself. And now, let's speak about what's about to happen for you. The first thing that comes through clearly in your reading is a wish, a deep desire that has lived within you for a long time, one you may have hidden away for so long that even you had forgotten about it. A wish that once burned brightly in your heart, but for some reason, you locked it away, suppressed it, tucked it into a quiet corner of your soul, and eventually forgot about it. But now, it is beginning to awaken. The things you once tried so hard to let go of, to give up, the things you told yourself you should forget, those very things are now showing signs of taking shape. The cards reveal that a long-forgotten wish, a dream you once believed would never come true, is quietly beginning to manifest. And when it does, your first reaction may be, "No way," a sense of astonishment so overwhelming it feels almost unreal. I sense that this isn't something that will take another year or two to unfold. Rather, it's likely to happen in the near future, perhaps within just a few months. I'm seeing a time frame of about 3 months. However, the period during which you buried this wish runs much deeper. It wasn't just a matter of months, but perhaps many years. This was something you quietly longed for, something you carried in your heart with silent care, but never dared to voice or fully pursue. It might be a clear desire, like wanting to become known, to be seen, acknowledged, and celebrated. But it could also be a gentle, simple yearning, a fragile wish you once whispered only to yourself. If only that could happen, how wonderful it would be. And then, because of circumstances, because of the weight of life, you convinced yourself to let it go. Yet now, the cards are showing that this wish is beginning to take form, in a way that is surprising, even beyond what you once imagined. Perhaps you've already started to feel a subtle stirring within, because that wish, I truly believe, has been asleep inside you for a very long time. The appearance of the child card in this reading is a deeply hopeful symbol. It represents innocence, new beginnings, and the kind of dream that hasn't yet been doubted or wounded. This wish may have been born when you were just a child. From your earliest years, you might have held on to a dream, and no matter how much life pulled you in different directions, that dream never truly left. It remained quietly, deeply embedded in your soul. And now, it is preparing to awaken. Or perhaps it was a dream that came to life when you were already an adult, but because you couldn't see a clear path to achieving it, you let it go early on. You may have thought, maybe I'm not capable enough. Maybe that's not meant for me. And so, you allowed it to fade into oblivion. But this time, the cards reveal that it will begin to take shape, gently, naturally, and in a way you never expected. As for how this wish starts becoming reality, the cards point to a moment of initiation, and interestingly, that moment appears to be beautifully simple. A vision of a book arises in the reading. Perhaps you'll stumble upon a title, and the name alone will stop you in your tracks. Oh, that's right. I used to dream about this. How could I have forgotten? That feeling, an unexpected recollection, a flash of clarity, is the spark that sets everything into motion. Or maybe it's a certificate you once wanted to earn, a skill you wanted to learn but gave up because it seemed too difficult. Then you find a book, and you realize, this might be the key. Maybe I can do it after all. It could even be a passing conversation that reaches your ears, not one you're involved in, but between strangers, perhaps overheard on a bus. And within those words lies a puzzle piece, a message the universe has subtly sent your way. From that moment on, everything starts to shift. What once clouded your vision, what once convinced you that your dream was impossible, those limits begin to dissolve. If in the past your wish felt too distant, the path to it too obscure to ever find. Now the light begins to break through. The fog clears. And this change doesn't come with loud miracles. It begins with a small detail, one that holds the power to transform your entire life. The cards that have appeared in this reading are truly powerful, and they are telling me that a brand new journey, full of inspiration and promise, is preparing to unfold for you. This card is one of those rare cards that signals the timing of a miracle, the moment when a wish is given wings and begins to manifest. It is the card of great fortune, a powerful shift overflowing with blessings. It tells you, what you once longed for is about to come true. And from that moment onward, everything begins to move with force. The wheels of destiny start to turn, and once they begin, they do not stop. Everything will begin to flow, aligning itself with the current of good fortune. Of course, that doesn't mean everything will be smooth or perfect, because life always includes challenges. But the difference is this: the things that don't go your way will no longer feel like burdens. They will no longer be reasons to collapse under pressure. Instead, they will become seeds of growth, lessons that fuel your inner strength and inspire greater courage. There may be moments of disappointment, of letdown, when things don't unfold as you had hoped. But you will no longer be frozen in place the way you once were. Compared to the times when you felt incapable of action, unsure of what to do. Now, the simple fact that you can step forward, that you can think, try, even fail, will become something you feel proud of. Because now, you are truly living. You are choosing. You are genuinely moving forward. You'll begin to feel a very special kind of energy, the realization that you are beginning to love yourself. You will love your courage, your transformation, even your moments of vulnerability. Those times when, despite feeling fragile, you still chose to keep going. In the past, you may have felt like life was controlling you, as if everything was predetermined and you were merely walking down a path that fate had laid out. But now, that has changed. Now you are the one turning the wheel of your own destiny. It's no longer about I have to follow this path. It's I choose to steer the course of my own destiny. And you steer it with power, clarity, and momentum, as if you are gripping the wheel of your life and driving forward with all the determination and passion you possess. This is your awakening. This is the moment you truly step into the journey of mastering your own fate. On other roads ahead, you may move slowly, calmly. No matter how many situations arise, you'll no longer be swept away by worry or brought to a halt midway. Because now, you've grasped the core truth. You are the one forging your own path. And from this point on, you'll navigate every challenge with grace and confidence. I feel this message with incredible intensity. It's been a long time since I've encountered a reading with energy as powerful as this. What I'm expressing now feels like the final puzzle piece in your life's picture has just snapped into place. You had been missing a piece. But it wasn't just missing, you didn't even know what it looked like, what color it was supposed to be. You only knew that something wasn't quite right. That unnamed feeling. Never being fully satisfied, not knowing why you felt uneasy, not knowing why you kept wondering whether this life you're living is truly yours. That vague sense of absence will finally be resolved. That empty space, the one you couldn't define but always felt, will be filled at last. That feeling, like a clock that had once stopped ticking suddenly begins to move again, each tick sounding clear and rhythmic, is something I haven't felt in a reading for a long time. I truly believe this is a miraculous outcome. Moreover, the hibiscus card appeared in this reading. It signifies that even though you may have gone through difficult phases, endured quiet trials, you are someone with a strong and deeply rooted heart. What's especially meaningful is that none of the sorrowful cards appeared, not the ones of tears, not the ones of pain or despair. This doesn't mean you haven't known suffering. It means that you've carried it all silently, with great strength. Not everyone could see the depths of the pain you've borne, but what you've endured has become the very foundation of your growth. And now, you're about to reach for what was missing, the final piece that will complete the picture of your life. There were times of overwhelming struggle. You were caught in the relentless cycle of life, constantly busy, always pushed forward by countless responsibilities and burdens. Even though, deep inside, you longed to pause, to rest, it felt as if there was always a powerful wind at your back, pushing you onward, forcing you to keep moving. Go. Keep going. Don't stop. As if you weren't allowed to rest, not even for a moment. Every time you tried to pause, that gust would return, sweeping you forward, making it impossible to stay still. I can sense that you've been in this state for quite a long time. And in such circumstances, you had to choose to lock your emotions away, not because you didn't want to feel, but because it was the only way to keep going, to survive, to move forward. It was the best choice you could make at the time, the only way to protect yourself from breaking, from collapsing. Even though what you've endured doesn't show up directly in the cards, I can clearly feel the weight of it, the quiet, relentless layers of pain that aren't easily seen on the surface, but are deeply real. The hibiscus card appears again, carrying a special message. You are not alone. This is a card that represents connection with the higher realms, with sacred energies vibrating at higher frequencies. Even if you have felt lonely, even if you've believed you were entirely on your own, this card is a reminder that you have always been connected to that unseen world. The loneliness you've experienced has actually been a part of the journey, a time when you were learning to listen to your inner voice, learning to communicate with the deeper layers of your soul. Perhaps there were times when you wept in silence, crying alone without anyone knowing. Maybe you tried to open up, to share your heart with someone, only to be met with more pain. The feeling of not being understood, not being received with care, that was what made you retreat inward, hiding your hurt in a place so deep no one could find it. But please know this. The universe is listening. It sees you. And not a single one of your tears has been meaningless. Every drop, every ache, has been leading you to a moment of healing, to a time when you will be loved in the way your heart has always longed for, and when you will finally rediscover your whole self. There were times when you tried to open your heart, to share your emotions, but all you received in return was silence. Or worse, responses that only made things feel heavier. The more you spoke, the more suffocated and hurt you felt. And so, eventually, you chose silence. You told yourself, maybe it's better not to say anything. Better to forget it, to stop thinking about it. Because that wind at your back, the one that never stopped pushing you forward, was still blowing. And you had no choice but to keep moving, even when all your heart wanted was to pause, to live at a slower, steadier rhythm. If that wind had truly been a tailwind, carrying you toward a dream of your own choosing, it might have felt beautiful. But in this case, it wasn't something you welcomed. You were forced to move. You wanted to stop, to live life at your own pace, but you couldn't. You were being pushed by an invisible force, and so you quietly tucked away all your feelings, your real desires, hiding them deep within yourself. And yet, the tears you couldn't let anyone see, the words you never spoke aloud, the things you've kept buried for years, all of it is being seen clearly by energies on a higher plane. Your story, the story that only you know, is gradually being illuminated by a soft, gentle light from the universe. A stream of light is descending now, gently covering the parts of your soul that have been hidden, that have been hurt. I see a sun beginning to shine from the very center of your being. That sun is a symbol of life force, of a new beginning. It is the warm light that shines upon the secret wishes and quiet dreams you've carried alone for so many years. And from this point forward, those dreams, little by little, will begin to take form. What I feel is not just a comforting message. This is a genuine sign, a clear beginning of the beautiful things to come. For those like you, who have kept everything locked away, who have lived in silence and endured with quiet strength, now, the light is turning toward you. Everything you once kept hidden in silence will now be heard. Everything you once longed for is now beginning to be answered. Some of you may feel unfamiliar with expressing emotions, not quite comfortable with speaking your true thoughts out loud. But if possible, I gently encourage you to leave a small comment. Just a little bit is enough. I have this deep feeling, after everything shared so far, that I want to reach that honest part within your heart. It could be something like, I've been trying so hard, I feel sad that no one really understands me. Reading this brought back memories of an old dream, or even just if this really came true, I think I'd be so happy. Whatever it is, no matter how small, I'd be grateful to hear a piece of your heart. Everything truly feels so beautiful. What I've just shared, all of these profound and moving reflections, have now been affirmed by the cards that followed. It's such a wondrous outcome. The Wishing Well card has appeared, representing the image of you standing before a deep, silent well, quietly offering your dreams, whispering your desires into the darkness, all alone. There was a time when you stood by yourself, gazing into that well, and saying, "Please help me. Why hasn't this come true? If this can never happen, what will the rest of my life be like? How can I find happiness? How can I learn to love myself?" There was no one at the bottom of that well. Was there? You once felt like you were speaking to the void, like you were casting your heart into a place with no reply. But the truth is, you are never truly alone. That voice echoing from the depths, that was your soul speaking. And the miracle is, it was heard. The real story of your life, the story only you know, the one you've never fully told anyone, has been received by something far greater. The whispered words, the silent tears, the times you lowered your head with no words left to speak. Every single moment has been seen, heard, and deeply understood. What's even more remarkable is that in a previous reading, there was a card that spoke of a guide, someone who would show you the way. That, too, is beginning to come true. You are no longer alone on this journey. From now on, there will be light, there will be companionship, and the wishes you once abandoned will slowly begin to awaken. Everything has already begun to shift. You're no longer standing still, you are, step by step, moving forward. Next came the Four Seasons card, symbolizing the emotional cycles of human experience: sorrow, joy, elation, and fulfillment. These emotional phases, by nature, come and go with time, just like the seasons turning. However, there may have been a time when you felt like the season inside you never changed, as if it were an endless winter, or a silence that lingered far too long. A quiet unease may have lived in your heart, prompting questions like, is this really okay? Am I on the right path in life? But now, the light has begun to shine through. The energy I'm sensing at this moment is powerful and radiant. A card has just appeared, one that bears the image of a brilliant sun. This is the very sun you've kept hidden for so long, now finally stepping into the light. The sun is the symbol of the fire element, of illumination, of life, and of the vibrant energy that awakens the wishes that have been asleep within you. An opportunity is being sent your way, an opportunity to turn a long-held wish into reality. And when that opportunity arrives, something within you will awaken. Even if right now you're thinking, I don't really have a dream, or there's nothing I'm hoping for that much, don't be too certain. Because sometimes, all it takes is a single moment, like when you randomly come across a book title, overhear a passing conversation, or catch a fragment of someone's story, and suddenly, a wave of emotion will surge through you, striking you with such clarity that it takes your breath away. And in that instant you'll realize, so I did still have a dream inside me after all. That dream will return, vivid, alive, and honest, urging you to move forward again, this time with a heart fully awakened. So this is what I once longed to do. And it's not just about wanting to become someone or achieve something, but also, I want to live in a space like this. I want to create this kind of environment. I want to be surrounded by people like that. I want to meet someone like this. The shape of a dream, the way a desire expresses itself, is different for each person. And for you, it carries its own unique color, its own tone. And now is the moment for that dream to be awakened. Perhaps you once thought you had let it go, but in truth, you never did. You were simply holding it quietly in your heart, tending to it in silence with trust and belief. Even when that dream seemed cold or distant, your guides, your departed loved ones, were always near, watching over it, listening, and softly casting their light upon it to ensure it would not fade away. Now all of that light is beginning to gather, and the moment it bursts forth, illuminating your path ahead, that is the moment the higher beings have long awaited. So from this point forward, start paying attention to the subtle signs. There will be an opportunity, a signal, a soft but powerful resonance within you, a sentence, an image, a chance encounter. And when it happens, I believe you'll feel a deep and unmistakable tremor in your soul. Even if that signal may seem small, the impact it brings will be profound. And when you feel it, this time, please don't ignore it. Don't turn away from the voice of your own heart anymore. Because this time, you can make it real. Your life, from this moment on, will begin to move, gently but steadily, in the direction you once dreamed of. If something within you just stirred while listening to this, if a familiar feeling returned, if a long-lost memory was awakened, or if a small flicker of belief began to glow, then I hope you will fully embrace this message. Hold on to it, and trust that the journey ahead is now unfolding for you. I'll close the reading for those of you who chose pile 1 here. If you enjoyed this message, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and support by liking the video. Your encouragement is a powerful source of inspiration that helps me continue creating more meaningful content. If something in this reading resonated with your heart, I would be grateful if you left a comment or even a small symbol to let me know this message reached you. I always look forward to reading your thoughts, so don't hesitate to share what's on your mind. Thank you for staying with me until the end of the video. I'll see you again in the next reading. Hello to those of you who chose pile 2. Thank you for waiting. Now, I'll begin the reading dedicated to those who selected the second pile. I hope this reading brings you healing, new insights, and moments filled with love and warmth. The theme for today is, what blessing is coming your way? The very first thing I want to say is this: something truly special is happening here. Before we dive into what's about to unfold, there's something that genuinely surprised me. In today's Lenormand reading, I originally intended to pull only 5 cards. But when I reached the final card in the spread, which already included powerful symbols like Destiny, the Messenger, and the Ring, I felt an incredibly strong surge of energy coming from the next card in the deck. So, I pulled a 6th card, and miraculously, it turned out to be the card that represents you. Not only that, but the tarot and oracle cards in this reading also present an exceptionally clear image: you and someone else. All the messages are converging toward you with immense force, as if the universe itself is sending a direct signal your way. It's truly extraordinary. Now, I'll begin to unpack each part of the message. First, let me say this right away: a new encounter is coming your way, a new connection, a new bond is about to enter your life. What's fascinating is that this meeting will happen completely unexpectedly, entirely outside of your current plans. I sense very strongly that you've already climbed a great mountain, meaning you've been through a long, difficult journey, perhaps involving emotional hardships or life challenges that once left you weary or even disillusioned. But it is precisely because you've made it through that mountain that a new door is now opening. No matter what age you are right now, this is still coming to you. Perhaps at some point, you thought you were too late, believed your chance had passed. But no, not at all. Everything is simply arriving a little later than expected, not never. And this time, the arrival of this new person will bring with it a powerful wave of change. This meeting is not just a typical emotional connection, it marks a profound turning point in your life's journey. The cards reveal that both you and this person have had to climb great mountains, not just metaphorically, but symbolically representing significant challenges, before you could finally find each other. This meeting wasn't meant to happen easily or early. There were too many obstacles, misalignments in timing, moments where fate seemed to play tricks, causing the two of you to miss each other again and again, never quite crossing paths at the right moment. It's as if the universe was testing the patience and resilience of your two souls. That is why this reunion is happening later, possibly in a more mature phase of life. But that doesn't matter. Because no matter your age, whether you're still young or already well into adulthood, this person is on their way to you. And when the two of you finally meet, you will understand. This is someone truly special. They are not a complete stranger. The cross card, the card that represents this person, the ring card, and the card that symbolizes you, they have all appeared. Not just once, but in multiple positions throughout the reading. This clearly shows that this is a reunion of souls connected from a past life. The two of you are old souls meeting again, a sacred reunion of two spirits once deeply intertwined in a former lifetime. And this meeting will mark a profound turning point in your life. This reunion is not only the beginning of a relationship, it is a transformative event that will usher in a whole new chapter of your soul's journey. The energy in this reading is overwhelmingly powerful, the message strikingly clear, to the point that I must say, today's reading for you may be shorter than for the other piles, simply because the message has come through with such speed and intensity. This is a soul reunion. The imagery from the cards also reveals something deeper. The life we're living now is just one leg of a soul's journey, a passage of learning, connection, and the fulfillment of what remains unfinished. And the person you're about to meet is a vital part of that sacred journey. Your soul chose this path, coming into this present world, as part of its own sacred journey. And within that divine plan, you and this person once made a promise to each other. We will meet again. This reunion is not a coincidence. It is something preordained, a soul agreement that was etched into your being long ago. Even if, in this present life, you are married, have children, or are living with someone you see as a lifelong companion, it does not alter the message. A soul reunion does not necessarily imply a romantic relationship. Love, the deep, spiritual connection between souls, is not confined by labels such as lovers, spouses, parents, or children. True love transcends all those names. It cannot be boxed into the definitions that human language tries to impose. It is vast, sacred, and far beyond the boundaries of reason. So please believe, there are still profound soul connections waiting for you ahead. Even if you already have someone by your side, the arrival of this soul, this person, is still something that can make your life more complete. The reading clearly shows that when this encounter takes place, blessings will flow into your home and family life. But this doesn't mean you need another love to fill an empty space. That is absolutely not the point. This is not about finding someone to fill a void. It is a connection between two souls meant to bring awakening, healing, and expansion. This bond does not have to manifest as a romantic relationship. It could appear in the form of a kindred spirit, a teacher, a student, or simply someone who enters your life at exactly the right moment, carrying a missing piece of your journey. The soul is an entity that constantly longs for experience. Even if you have shared a loving connection with someone in a past life, it does not mean that the same roles must be preserved in this lifetime. For example, perhaps you and that person were lovers in a previous incarnation. But in this life, the soul may choose to experience a different kind of relationship, such as siblings or parent and child. Perhaps this time, you are the father and they are the child. In another life, it could be the reverse, where they are the mother and you are the little one. All of this is part of the soul's sacred choice, to learn, to evolve, and to expand love in ways that go beyond any definitions we might try to use. Soul connections are not confined to the form of romantic love or a life partner. Souls can reunite in many different ways, not necessarily as romantic counterparts. However, that does not mean that if you are currently single, there is no chance of meeting someone truly special. On the contrary, if you are open and free in your heart, the likelihood of encountering a destined partner is very high. No matter what your current circumstances may be, whether you already have someone by your side or are still walking alone, one thing is certain: a profound encounter, a powerful soul reunion, is drawing near. And when it arrives, it will mark a turning point in your life. That is why I feel called to dive deeper into the details of this reading, just for you. Because truly, what this spread reveals is something rare. In one of the cards, an image appears: a white snake and a black snake, side by side. This is the symbol of your and their past life connection. And in between them stands the image of you, here, now, in the present. This signifies that, deep within your consciousness, there remains a clear sense: you have not yet met this person. At the most profound level of your soul, you know this reunion has not yet taken place, that someone deeply significant is still waiting ahead. Perhaps that is why you have felt weary when it comes to relationships. Some may be feeling emotionally exhausted from half-hearted connections, from trial-and-error love stories that start and then fade. You may have begun to lose faith in people, in the idea of ever meeting someone truly meant for you. And perhaps, as you read these words, you are silently shaking your head, thinking, "I don't need another encounter. This is enough." But it is precisely because you have walked through so many challenges, carried so many wounds in relationships, that the arrival of this soul, this person, is able to bring true healing. They come to cleanse you of old pain, to help you love again, fully, deeply, and without reservation. And not just to love, but to be seen, to be understood, to be connected with at the deepest level of your soul. Of course, there is a strong possibility that this will be a romantic soul connection, but it could also be someone you meet through work, shared hobbies, educational pursuits, or a space dedicated to personal growth. Regardless of the form it takes, this person will be someone who guides you, and at the same time, becomes a deeply healing presence for your soul. You were drawn to this reading, and there is a reason for that. At first, when selecting the 3 representative cards, I had a feeling that this might be about self-love. But as I looked deeper into the context of today's spread, I realized that wasn't the case. This is about love that is being offered to you, love that comes from this person. A love so genuine and tender that, from the depths of your heart, you can't help but say, "I'm so lucky to have met this person." This is a relationship you will cherish deeply, because the warmth and connection it brings are far beyond what you may have expected. Honestly, I got chills while reading this part. Because this spread is extraordinary, its energy is so powerful. 2 identical cards appeared. It felt as though the 2 of you were once twins, dressed alike, sharing the same rhythm. And even now, though you may not have crossed paths yet in this lifetime, the resonance of your soul energies remains intact, still mirroring one another in the most uncanny and beautiful way. The Lightning card, symbolizing unexpected events, reveals that when the 2 of you reunite, the first emotion may not be shock or a thunderbolt of love, but rather a strange sense of familiarity. As if you've met this person somewhere before. It's a very distinct feeling. I feel like I've met them already. Even if you haven't spoken much with them, you'll have the undeniable sense that we are so alike, as though we've known each other for a very long time. And if one day you do feel that way, please remember, it is not a coincidence. It is a sign that your soul has just recognized a part of itself, one that has walked beside you through many lifetimes. It seems this encounter will happen in a very natural, gentle way, nothing overly dramatic. Had the card been drawn in reverse, I might have said this would be a meeting charged with sudden energy, something cinematic, like the two of you accidentally bumping into each other in the street, nearly falling, then turning to apologize in an awkward, yet fated moment. But no, the energy in this reading suggests the opposite. This is a meeting that, outwardly, appears ordinary, simple even. Yet emotionally, it is profoundly deep. A quiet, effortless arrival that stirs your soul from the very first moment. And because the cards revolve around the theme of reunion, the possibility of encountering someone from your past is very real. Some of you drawn to this reading may fall into that group, those who will have a chance to reconnect with someone from before. Though it may not apply to everyone, it is present, and I feel it's important to share this clearly so you can understand the full picture. If you've gone through a period of silence, especially in a soul connection like that of a twin flame, you may have felt the long, stretching quiet between you and that person. And not just once. This might be the second, or even the third time that you and they have experienced disconnection. But precisely because of those separations, it is now time for a reunion, one that is more grounded, more steady than before. Whether it's someone from the past returning, or a new soul entering your life who feels strangely familiar, the way this event unfolds will not be dramatic or earth-shattering. It won't feel like a sudden jolt of fate. Rather, it will be a seemingly ordinary moment that you simply cannot ignore. Not the kind of uncanny coincidence that makes you exclaim, "Oh my God, how are we meeting here?" But more like a soft realization, a quiet knowing. At last we meet again. A gentle but deeply meaningful moment, a timely return between souls who have always belonged to one another. If this is a reunion, then the new beginning will also be gentle, devoid of fireworks or dramatic flair. It might be as simple as an unexpected message from that person with something ordinary like, "Hey, how have you been?" Not the kind of passionate, "I can't stop thinking about you" lines we see in movies, but a casual check-in as if nothing ever happened. Or you might find yourself at a casual gathering with friends, and they just happen to be there too. It's also possible that, after having been blocked for some time, you suddenly feel a nudge to send a message, just to see what happens, and to your surprise, it goes through and is even read right away. These are the kinds of quiet, unassuming beginnings this energy suggests. Even if it's not someone from the past but a completely new person, the reading shows that this meeting won't take place in a formal, pressured, or rigid setting like a blind date, a prearranged meeting, or any situation where you feel the need to present a polished version of yourself. Instead, this person might be a friend of a friend, or someone you encounter during a casual, everyday moment, perhaps at a laid-back group activity, a community event, or even in a situation where you're seeking emotional support and your previous counselor has moved on, and a new one is introduced in their place. At first, you might not feel anything special, perhaps even some hesitation or doubt, wondering, is this person going to be okay? But when the two of you meet, it won't be a shock or an overwhelming impression. Rather, it will feel soft, comforting, like, this person seems all right. And over time, you'll begin to notice that something about them feels deeply familiar. Even though you've just met, there's an unshakable sense that you've known them for a long time. A gentle harmony, a quiet synchronicity, a feeling of safety that asks for no explanation. The presence of this person won't leave you feeling confused, nor will it make you chase after them or feel anxious. Instead, it will bring a sense of ease, a sense of relief, as if you can finally breathe freely and simply be yourself. It's a quiet kind of peace, the very feeling your soul has been seeking all along. The person you're about to meet will offer you a sense of emotional safety, a warmth that is just right, comforting without being overwhelming. Their presence will enter your life naturally, without grand gestures or attention-seeking. Interestingly, the card representing social connections has also appeared, strongly suggesting that this person may be a friend of a friend, or someone accompanying others at an event you attend without any particular intention, just to be there. Yet they just happen to be present too. It's even possible that you and this person have unknowingly crossed paths before, perhaps sitting just a table apart in a cafe, or sharing the same space at the same time, without ever speaking or noticing one another. But it seems that your soul may have already recognized their presence from the background. And when the actual meeting happens, the first thing you'll feel is a sense of calm, a natural, gentle reassurance that this is exactly where you're meant to be. From that sense of safety, the distance between you will begin to close. And soon, you'll realize that conversations with this person flow effortlessly, as if they've been waiting to happen for a very long time. This connection is not a random coincidence, but a meeting that has been destined. The reading clearly indicates that you are about to welcome such a bond into your life, not by chance, but by divine design. The Run card, symbolizing the attainment of something truly valuable, has also appeared. This signifies that you are about to hold something precious in your hands, something that will captivate your full attention and ignite your deepest devotion. You'll feel a powerful wave of inspiration, a rekindling of passion, and a strong urge to bring long-held dreams to life. And if, as you hear this, you find yourself thinking, "But I'm already married," or "I already have a partner," please understand that this doesn't have to be an affair or a complicated entanglement. As mentioned earlier, this person could very well be a source of inspiration, someone whose words, presence, or guidance helps you reconnect with your own dreams. They remind you that in this life, you are the main character, and you have every right to live a life that sets your heart ablaze. And the person you are about to meet will be the one who helps you create happiness for yourself. The reading clearly shows that they will play the role of a supporter, a companion, and more importantly, someone who expands your perspective. This doesn't mean you have to give up or devalue what you already have. On the contrary, you'll come to appreciate your present even more, while naturally and gently broadening your world. It is precisely the sense of safety you feel around this person that will give you the courage to step out of your comfort zone, to take action more boldly. For instance, if you try something new and it doesn't work out, this person won't comfort you with surface-level words like "it's okay" or "you did your best," the kind phrases people often say out of politeness. Instead, they'll offer something much deeper, something that touches the very heart of what you're feeling, making you feel truly seen and understood without needing to explain yourself. This person is a soul who has journeyed with you through many lifetimes, and because of that, they understand your essence without you needing to put it into words. And that's why their words won't just be advice. They will be messages that uplift your heart and empower your spirit. They won't simply say, "It's okay," but rather something like, "Your failure only proves that you were brave enough to try." This is the kind of voice that is both profound and grounded, words that infuse you with the strength to keep moving forward. And in their eyes, you are not someone who needs saving, but a soul in the midst of growing, walking your own path, and simply in need of a gentle reminder to shine in your own light. This person will remind you that failure is not the end, but rather a sign that you are living true to yourself. The very act of daring to take action, whether it leads to success or failure, is already a powerful and admirable thing. They will recognize this in you, and may say something like, "I truly admire you." The fact that you had the courage to take that step is already amazing. And just hearing words like that will feel like a surge of strength within you, helping you rise and continue. Because in truth, you haven't lost anything. In fact, these experiences are what allow you to grow and evolve. Simply put, a meeting is on its way to you, and it will be a turning point, bringing you closer to your true happiness. This is something significant because the reading continues to emphasize, this person is your destiny. Even I was surprised by the clarity and intensity of this message. It is truly powerful. And one more thing, you and this person seem to be connected by an invisible thread. Even if the two of you haven't officially met yet, their energy, the vibrations they are sending out, are gradually reaching you. It's like the two ends of a delicate string, quietly moving toward each other, pulling two souls closer with every passing moment. That meeting will be something truly magical. If you are currently without a companion, this encounter could very well lead to significant changes in your life, perhaps even marriage or a clear turning point in your personal circumstances. And if you are already married or in a long-term relationship, this person can still be someone who helps you discover a new space within yourself, not to walk away, but to expand your life. You will continue to cherish your home and your loved ones, while also rediscovering yourself on a deeper level, a space where your soul feels seen, inspired, and allowed to live in full alignment with the brightest part of who you are. Having a new place of belonging in your life, a space where you truly feel at home, is incredibly important. When your soul has more than one safe haven, it becomes much easier to regain your balance whenever something goes wrong. When one place exhausts you, there is still another where you can rest your heart. Having multiple emotional anchors allows your vision to expand, your way of handling challenges to become more flexible. And in that way, simply living, just existing, becomes lighter, more easeful, and far more comforting. This reading shows that such a meeting is drawing near. A destined encounter that will make you feel, from the depths of your heart, I am so lucky to have met this person. Perhaps the time you've had to wait for this reunion has been long enough to feel like lifetimes apart. But that only makes the moment of reconnection all the more precious. One of the final cards to appear is the card of love, and none other than the Empress herself. This card seems to be saying, this is enough. You don't have to wait any longer. They are coming. Be ready to receive. The message from the cards is entirely consistent. A beautiful encounter is on its way to you. If you are someone who has closed your heart, who once believed there was no need for another meeting, that's perfectly okay. You have every right to choose what feels right for you. But if your heart stirs, even just a little, as you hear these words, then I truly believe this is an opportunity well worth opening up to. Because encounters like this, so rare, so deeply moving, are gifts the universe only offers when you are truly ready to live in full alignment with yourself. Hold this message close, like a talisman for your soul. This reading is truly magical. From the energy of the cards, I can feel a warm current gently weaving its way into your heart, soft and tender, like an invitation to open. Believing in a miraculous meeting may seem difficult, even far-fetched. But if you can, I hope you'll allow yourself to welcome it with a quiet sense of anticipation, like waiting for a surprise gift from the universe. When you open your heart to receive this encounter, allow yourself to offer warmth from within. And in return from this person, you will receive that same warmth reflected back to you. When both of you give and receive with sincerity, you'll feel something profoundly deep, an awareness that this connection doesn't just belong to the present, but threads through your past, your now, and your future. This is not a random meeting. It is a soul bond, a mysterious connection that you'll sense from the deepest part of yourself, whispering, we've belonged to each other before. And I hope you'll be able to feel that fully, as a gentle reminder that the deepest connections often require no explanation at all. There is one more thing I want to share. Within this reading, 2 cards in particular strongly highlight that something truly magical is approaching. At the same time, the overall energy surrounding you from beginning to end carries the essence of stillness. You are someone who does not easily reveal your emotions. When you feel hurt, angry, or unsettled, your tendency is not to explode, but to retreat inward in silence. Not because you are weak, but because you need a safe space to process your emotions quietly, in your own time. And perhaps that is exactly why the person about to enter your life will be someone who can listen to your silence, someone who understands what you're feeling without needing you to say much at all. Someone who helps you open your heart, not by force, but simply by being. Someone who makes you want to believe, to give, and to become the truest version of yourself. I sense a very vivid image. On the outside, you appear calm, like a still lake, but deep within, there is a storm of emotions swirling. And within that storm, there is a whisper, soft, barely audible, like a fragile little prayer rising from your heart. Even though there may be people around you who love and support you, this prayer is something only you can hear. Perhaps, at some point, you've told yourself, I shouldn't ask for more. So many good things have already come. What more could I possibly hope for? Or maybe you've felt, there's no use saying it out loud, it won't change anything anyway. But that prayer, however faint, however undefined, is still present in your energy. It is not a demand, but a deep longing. I just want to be understood. It may be a desire for someone to truly see you, to understand you, to feel the unspoken emotions within you, and to hold you gently. No explanations needed. No strength required. Just quiet acceptance and soothing presence. I sense that what you need is not grand or polished words of encouragement, but a simple embrace, one that is warm enough, still enough, deep enough for you to exhale and let the tears fall if they must. And you don't need to feel ashamed of that. Because that prayer, that wish to be received, to be loved in your most fragile and honest form, is deeply human and deeply sacred. The reading also reveals a subtle hue of sorrow, a quiet loneliness that has accompanied you for some time. Perhaps you've gone through moments that were incredibly difficult, painfully uncertain. Perhaps even now, you are still moving through that space. Both cards that appeared in this spread carry the image of a tunnel, as if you are in the midst of a transition, walking a path that has not yet emerged fully from the dark. But you know what? A tunnel is never meant to be a place to stop. It's a place to keep moving forward, because there is always light waiting at the end. And that light is now closer to you than ever before. You've already come such a long way. And I believe that what you once prayed for, whether spoken aloud or held quietly in your heart, is now beginning to receive a response. Not because you shouted for it, but because your heart has been truly calling. Yes, that prayer from deep within you, so gentle it almost seemed inaudible, has in fact been sent out. And more than that, someone on the other side, someone who carries a soul frequency that matches yours, seems to be hearing it. The reading shows this clearly. They are actively looking for you. You don't have to force anything or go searching for them. They will appear, as if led directly to you, by that silent wish from your heart. Such a significant connection is drawing near. The cards emphasize that there are still important souls destined to walk with you on your life's path whom you have yet to meet. And when you do meet this one, the one meant for you, your life will slowly begin to fill with real love, true harmony, and deeply felt emotion. You will no longer need to mold yourself to fit expectations or push yourself to adapt. Instead, you'll be able to live in full alignment with your heart, in the natural rhythm of your soul. When that moment arrives, your entire inner energy will be activated, awakened. You'll begin to feel stronger, more radiant, and more complete in every aspect of your life, emotionally, professionally, and in your connection with your true self. If there was any part of this reading that made your heart stir even slightly, that felt like it was meant just for you, then please receive this message as a gift for you, from the universe, from the deepest layers of emotion, and from your very own soul. I'll close the reading for those who chose Group 2 here. If you enjoyed this message, don't forget to click like and subscribe to support the channel. Your encouragement is a powerful motivation for me to continue bringing you more meaningful readings. If any part of today's message resonated with your heart, feel free to leave a comment, or even just a small emoji, to let me know that it reached you. I truly cherish every response and look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you for staying with me until the end of the video. I'll see you again in the next reading. Hello to those of you who chose Pile 3. Thank you for your patience. Now, I'll begin the reading for those who are drawn to Pile number 3. I hope this reading brings you healing, fresh insights, and moments filled with love. Today's theme is, what blessings are coming your way? For Group 3, the dominant energy centers around money and financial abundance. That is the main focus of the message coming through today. However, before diving into what's about to unfold, I want to take a moment to speak about your current state, because the cards are sending a very clear message regarding where you are right now. At present, it seems your mind is overwhelmed, a rush hour traffic jam of thoughts. You're anxious about the future, while still unable to let go of the past. Perhaps you're caught up in memories or regrets, thinking things like, if only I had done things differently back then, or why can't I move on from this? None of this is your fault. It's simply that you've gone through experiences that left emotional wounds, wounds that, though invisible, continue to shape how you unconsciously imagine the future, as something just as difficult, just as heavy. You haven't done anything wrong. But right now, it seems that much of your energy is being consumed by those thoughts. So even when you want to start something new, perhaps you feel a spark of curiosity to try something different or feel a bit of inspiration to make a change, you find that you simply don't have the energy to sustain it. Maybe you've told yourself, all right, this time I'm going to track my spending and manage my finances more carefully. But after just a few days, maybe 3, you stop. That's not because you're weak. It's because your mind is overloaded. It doesn't have space to carry anything more. What you need is not to push harder, but to gently listen to yourself so that your mind can exhale, release, and slowly begin to relax. Only when your energy returns will the good things ahead have the space they need to grow. Perhaps you've also said, I'll try to move my body a little, maybe exercise. But again, you only manage a day or so before stopping. This pattern may have repeated itself, leaving you with the feeling that you can't seem to follow through on anything. But that doesn't mean you're lazy or lack willpower. Not at all. It's because your brain is already using nearly all its energy to process complex thoughts, worries, doubts, leaving little to none for anything else. This is completely normal, and there is nothing wrong with you. The brain is a kind of muscle too, and when it's forced to work continuously, it burns energy just like an intense physical workout. You may not be moving your body much, but if your mind is constantly racing, if it's filled all day with unanswered questions and mental loops, of course you'll feel exhausted, as though your body has just run a long, hard race. So, if lately you've found yourself unable to maintain any habits for long, feeling sluggish, unable to start or continue anything, please don't blame yourself. Don't think of yourself as weak or lacking in discipline. This is one of the most important messages the cards want to deliver to you right now. And to gently support yourself in beginning to emerge from this state, one of the first steps you can try is this. Write down your thoughts. You don't have to be serious about it, and there's no need to follow any structure. Just find a comfortable position, sitting or lying down. Relax your entire body, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what is it that's making my mind spin so much? What thoughts are draining me to the point where I feel like I can't do anything at all? Write it all out, let it flow naturally so you can begin to see more clearly what's been weighing you down. Because when the light of awareness shines into the hidden corners of your mind, energy begins to be released, little by little. And from there, you'll start to feel lighter, slowly reclaiming bits of strength for yourself. These small steps are the very foundation for the bigger changes coming your way. So it's because of that thing from the past. You may realize, that's why I've been afraid of the future. Or perhaps you'll write, I feel anxious about this, or that. You might feel unsettled because the road ahead is unclear. Maybe you're afraid of failing, afraid of being rejected, afraid of being hurt all over again. Whatever it is, write it all down. Honestly, raw and unfiltered. The more real, the more powerful. And once you've finished writing, set the pen down, close your eyes, and take a deep breath in, then slowly exhale. As you do, imagine the words you just wrote, those worries, rising from the page, floating gently in the air. One by one, the letters lift off, light as dust, as petals, drifting upward and dissolving into the space around you. You might picture the sentences still intact at first, then slowly unraveling, dispersing until they disappear. At first, it may feel a little silly. What am I even doing right now? But trust me, over time this will begin to feel completely natural. And you'll start to feel better, little by little. After visualizing the release of that energy a few times, if possible, burn the paper. Of course, be cautious. Only do this if you can burn it safely. If not, simply crumple the page or tear it into small pieces. That works just as well. Throw it away, as though you're letting go of the thoughts that have clung to you for so long. It might sound symbolic or impractical, but in truth, your mind will feel lighter, as if a fog has just lifted. You'll sense a mental clearing. The sentences, once heavy and burdensome, are now broken apart and gone. You no longer carry them. And that's when you can begin to reclaim inner space, making room to welcome something new, new thoughts, new emotions, new actions. After you've written down all the thoughts that are making you feel heavy, imagine those words beginning to swirl, as if caught in a gentle breeze, gradually spinning, becoming more and more jumbled, until they're no longer legible. One by one, each character lifts into the air, separating and dissolving, quietly, softly. Visualize this scene clearly in your mind. You might find yourself thinking, what's the point of this? If I want to solve something, shouldn't I get to the root of it? But in truth, this simple act helps redistribute your energy, from being trapped in repetitive, exhausting mental loops to shifting into focused, intentional action. It's like clearing off your desk before starting work. Once you give yourself time to tidy the clutter in your mind, you'll find more room to breathe, to think clearly, and to move forward with direction. According to the reading, one reason you often find yourself overthinking is because you have an incredibly quick and agile mind. Your brain processes information at rocket speed, like it's moving at 800 kilometers per hour. You possess sharp intelligence, fast reactions, and a mind that never seems to rest. And this brilliance is a double-edged sword. When channeled properly, it becomes the key to creativity, clarity, and empowerment. But without direction, it can also drain you, leaving you exhausted from simply thinking too much. You are a remarkably quick learner. Whatever it is, sports, cooking, or any new skill, you can observe, pick it up, and do it well with impressive speed. Your mind processes information rapidly, you know how to identify the essential points, and you possess a keen intuition. You often sense exactly what's going on without needing much explanation. That's why it's important to understand. Your overwhelm isn't a sign of weakness, it's a reflection of high intelligence. Your brain is working overtime in a space that lacks clear structure. Writing things down and visualizing release are ways for you to bring yourself back into balance, to use this incredible gift of intellect with purpose and alignment, rather than being swept away by the unchanneled force of your own inner brilliance. Alongside your mental sharpness and agility, there's something else quite distinct about you. You're logical and practical. This means you often think in terms of efficiency and productivity in everything you do. You don't just do things for fun, you want your actions to be meaningful, useful, to contribute to something real. And because you tend to assign a specific value or outcome to every action, you often burn up more energy in thinking than in doing. However, as I've shared, this is not a negative trait. It's actually one of your greatest strengths. It's a powerful talent within you, and if you can find balance and learn how to redistribute your energy, you can transform that sharpness into a force that propels you forward and allows you to shine. That's why the guidance from this reading is, try practicing mental release techniques like writing your thoughts on paper or visualizing the act of letting go. These will help you reclaim inner space for calm, for clarity, and for grounded action. And from here, the blessings begin to reveal themselves. This reading shows that what's coming your way is truly beautiful. All the effort you've put in over time, whether in your work, your life, or in the way you've treated others with kindness, every bit of that is now making its way back to you like a gift from the universe. Most importantly, the energy of return is very near. Perhaps in the past, you worked hard toward a certain goal, only to feel that the outcome didn't meet your expectations. But now, that dream is finding a new chance to come alive. You can achieve what you've been striving for. You can become the version of yourself you once only dreamed of. You can arrive at the place you once believed was far beyond reach. And more than that, sometimes the rewards won't come in the form you originally imagined. The love you gave to others might return as support, as financial opportunity, or through connections that bring clear, tangible value into your life. A cycle of return is beginning. Everything you've given, your dedication, sincerity, and kindness, is now being gathered and sent back to you as a gift, a timely reward. So don't be surprised if, in the near future, you unexpectedly receive an invitation, a proposal, or an opportunity that at first seems improbable but turns out to be perfectly aligned. This is the result of everything you've quietly nurtured over time. And perhaps because you're so intelligent, you tend to let go quickly when something doesn't seem effective. But this time, don't rush to a conclusion. Because the moment you're living right now is the time when all the pieces are finally falling into place, preparing to deliver exactly what you deserve. With your sharp mind and natural drive for efficiency, it's likely that you often make swift judgments and pivot away from things that don't seem worth continuing. Maybe you've tried many things and decided to walk away when they didn't feel right. Maybe you've told yourself, this isn't working, I'll stop, or this just isn't for me. But no matter how many things you've given up on, there's one thing you've never let go of, and that's your kindness and compassion toward others. The cards show this clearly. Even though you possess extraordinary intellect, so much so that if you focused all your talents solely on yourself, you could easily found 3 or 4 companies and achieve massive success in business or any field you chose. You didn't take the path of personal gain alone. To you, what matters more is living with integrity, with sincerity, and in alignment with your inner values. And not just with those you love. Even with people you may not particularly like, you still strive to treat them fairly, with empathy and decency. You choose to live with honesty. You choose to hold onto your integrity. You don't like to hurt anyone, not even in thought. You might even smile at someone you don't fully trust, simply because you don't want to plant anything negative in their heart. That isn't being fake. That is the strength of a heart that is both powerful and deeply loving. The cards reveal something beautiful. Even if you don't speak it aloud, within you lies a heart full of love. Not the dreamy kind of love, but a profound, mature love, expressed through every small act, every moment of patience, every time you choose not to react negatively, every time you choose to be forgiving. That love is the most sacred part of you, and it is something the universe is recognizing. Because of that love, you are now entering a phase of receiving not only material rewards, but also emotional fulfillment, genuine connection, and a deeper sense of meaning in life. Some people may not fully agree or might struggle to accept this truth in their hearts, but when we speak of a sincere heart, something tells me it will resonate with you. I feel very clearly that those who are drawn to this reading are people who live authentically. And that sincerity, your sincerity, is now being rewarded. I sense that you are someone who has always chosen kindness, someone who lives from the truth of their heart, and no matter how many times life may have let you down, you have never strayed from that path. You've kept your spirit intact. Even though things may not have gone smoothly, and there were times when you felt like giving up, when you hated everything, hated the world, hated that person, hated it all, those were only fleeting thoughts, mere reactions from the rational part of your mind. Because your heart, your soul, has always wanted to live kindly. Even when your mind shouted, "I don't care anymore," if something fell to the ground, you would still bend down to pick it up. Because deep inside, you've always wanted to preserve your own sense of kindness. Even with people you don't like, no matter how much resentment you may feel, if one day they were to smile and greet you, you wouldn't be able to ignore them or pretend not to see. That is compassion. That is sincerity. That is something you've worked hard to protect within yourself. Kindness is not something easily attained. It is the result of great effort. A truly kind person is someone who has trained themselves, who has held themselves to high standards in order to preserve that quality throughout life's journey. You are a kind person, and not everyone can be called that so naturally. A sincere soul is one who has continuously strived to remain pure, honest, and gentle with the world, even when the world has not been gentle in return. I can feel very clearly that you've been trying endlessly to maintain all these efforts over a long period of time. And it is precisely because of that relentless striving that you sometimes fall into sadness, into disappointment. When things don't go the way you hoped, when you can no longer continue, when you make mistakes, you tend to blame yourself, often quite harshly. But the truth is you shouldn't. That's exactly why the cards have spoken today. They want to say this. You've been through so much, you've had to think so deeply, and you've had to brace yourself to face countless challenges. If you had only thought of yourself, you might have already achieved success by now. But you simply cannot live that way, because it wouldn't bring you peace. To you, true happiness must come with harmony, with the feeling that everything around you is also calm and at ease. That's why you've always thought so much, felt so much, and been hurt so deeply. And now, those wounds of the past, those old pains, are once again surfacing through this reading. You have been hurt before. You have been betrayed. I believe you've gone through experiences like that. And that is why, in this present moment, you may feel as though you can't do anything, as though something is holding you back, as though you are too weak, and you find yourself asking, "Why do I even exist?" These feelings are pulling you into the depths of your thoughts, causing you to doubt yourself. But that's not the truth. It is not your fault. What you're feeling doesn't come from your true nature. It comes from your circumstances, from the people who hurt you, from the scars they left on your soul. Those experiences are not the truth of who you are. They are just the environment, just the people who left a negative imprint on your life's journey. The fact that you couldn't handle those moments doesn't mean you were weak or wrong. It was never your fault. I sense that what you truly need right now is to ease up on yourself. Don't be so hard on your own heart. Soften it, let your mind relax just a little. I'm sorry if this message has been a bit long. It's just that the emotional energy in this reading is incredibly strong. But what I want to share next is something truly special. What's coming your way will be truly wonderful. A card representing wealth and abundance has clearly appeared in the reading. Alongside it is a card symbolizing complete contentment, a deep sense of fulfillment from within. These energies point to a major shift in your personal life, especially in areas related to home, privacy, and your emotional foundations. Everything will begin to fall into place, becoming more stable and secure. At long last, after all the waiting and effort, what you've been hoping for will arrive. This card is much like a wish card, a symbol of desires coming true. You might win some kind of reward, receive something that is long overdue and well-deserved, or experience a surprising and positive breakthrough in your career. It's possible that you'll find a great job, step into a promising new opportunity, or be entrusted with important responsibilities, perhaps even receiving significant recognition from those around you in ways you never expected. In addition, since a card related to finances has appeared, there is a high likelihood that you will receive extra income, perhaps through a side job, or from an unexpected source of money. This will be supplementary income beyond your primary source, and it will flow to you naturally as a well-deserved reward for the journey you've walked. And then, as things begin to go smoothly, the heart card appears as well, signaling that you will feel a warmth rising within. A moment will come when you catch yourself thinking, maybe I really am lucky these days. A light, happy, and deeply trusting feeling is drawing nearer to you than ever before. What's truly wonderful is that these blessings are not merely fleeting, they have the potential to last. Isn't that incredible? And all the more meaningful, given that it's tied to the fact that you have consistently tried, lived with sincerity, and remained steadfast in your values through it all. The reading also shows that you're about to enter a moment in which you'll clearly feel that the choices you made in the past were absolutely right. There will be a time when your heart exclaims, "I'm so glad I did that." And it seems that from a future version of yourself, I can sense a message being sent back, that you will feel a sense of release, as if you suddenly realize, I really did overthink and worry too much. Though right now you may be trying to push those thoughts aside using reason, in the future, it will be your heart that speaks. You will truly feel, I've been thinking too much. You will also come to a profound realization. All the effort you've put in, all the things you've done quietly for others, all the moments when it felt like you were the only one making sacrifices, everything will return to you, in one way or another. It may not come back in the exact form you once hoped for, but it will be something that surprises you, perhaps even overwhelms you with emotion. Regardless of the shape it takes, the entire path you've walked, the life you've lived, the choices you've made, the perseverance you've shown, are now entering a phase of well-deserved reward. And with the appearance of the Scythe card, a symbol of harvest, it becomes even clearer that this is the time for you to begin reaping the fruits of the seeds you've sown. Not just the results you once wished for, but possibly even unexpected opportunities, particularly in the area of finances. A harvest that wasn't part of your original plans, but one that is filled with fortune and real value, is steadily making its way toward you. It's truly wonderful. The cards are aligning in a very clear and harmonious way. One of the most prominent messages is that of reflection, of you gradually coming to understand what truly matters to you. And as mentioned earlier, the foundation of your life, your living environment, your safe space both emotionally and materially, is becoming more solid than ever. That foundation is being strengthened not only to protect you, but also so that you can begin to expand your world. The following cards reveal even more. Once your foundation is secure, you will have greater space, meaning energy, time, and the right conditions, to pursue financial opportunities. Prosperity doesn't come only from hard work, but also from your readiness to receive it. This is the moment when you can start thinking about doing the things you once dreamed of. Perhaps it's planting a garden, taking up gardening again, or returning to something that used to bring you joy, something you once put aside because you didn't have enough time, mental space, or resources. Now, you're not only able to fulfill those dreams, but you can do so with a sense of abundance, without the pressure that once weighed you down. Even more powerfully, the cards are delivering a strong message, something you created in the past, a video, a blog post, a piece of music, an artwork, a short story you once wrote, something you made with heart and then set aside without expectation, may now unexpectedly be rediscovered. What you once made with sincerity, simply out of love rather than for gain, may suddenly be seen, appreciated, and valued once again. In fact, what you once thought of as just a hobby, a small personal passion, may now become a source of additional income, or even your main source of livelihood. This opens up the possibility of being noticed, being recognized, and seeing things you once believed were outdated or forgotten return to you like a gift from the universe, arriving at exactly the right time, precisely when you're ready to receive them. It's truly a message filled with surprise and hope. I feel with great clarity that what's coming to you resembles ripples spreading outward. The card that appears here is the High Priest, carrying yin energy, with the image of a hand gently touching the surface of water, as if setting into motion ever-expanding rings. And I believe those ripples are not just about money, but about the expansion of abundance in a much broader sense, encompassing finances, emotional well-being, spiritual peace, and a greater sense of harmony in your life. Prosperity is coming to you not in a sudden rush, not in a way that overwhelms or exhausts you, but in soft, gentle waves, like clear water spreading calmly through space, bringing with it a sense of serenity and comfort. It is a very tender, deeply felt kind of abundance. This beautiful energy begins from the smallest point and then slowly radiates outward like ripples across water, gradually making your inner world feel more whole, more complete, and more fulfilled. All of this leads to a sense of deep inner fulfillment. You will feel your heart being filled, being healed. The continuous appearance of water cards reinforces the presence of gentle, healing, and pure emotional energy surrounding you. It feels as though you are bidding farewell to the burdens that once clung to you, stepping into a new phase where support, especially financial support, arrives right when you need it most. From this point forward, I sense that you will begin to live more lightly, more joyfully. A new stream of energy is rising from within, a current that makes life feel more breathable, more enjoyable. Even though your mind may still be heavy with thoughts, you're learning how to regulate it, how to distribute your energy more wisely between thinking and doing. And more importantly, the energy of joy, delight, and comfort will start to seep into everything you think and do. I truly feel that this is coming closer to you. It's genuinely wonderful. Just a moment ago, I felt a strong nudge to glance at the card at the bottom of the deck, and just as I suspected, it was the ship. Then, within the main spread, another ship card appeared. This is a clear sign that you are about to embark on a new phase of your life journey, a shift, an energetic upgrade, an elevation of both your spirit and your reality. When I look at everything you've been through to arrive at this moment, I can only say it's a string of miracles. Not because things happened easily, but because you had the courage to live through every difficult moment, to endure countless trials and wounds you long to forget. All those experiences, no matter how painful, are now gradually being healed, becoming warmer, gentler in your memory. One day, you will look back and realize that the very things that once drained you were, in fact, the first seeds of abundance. Though you were exhausted, you were unknowingly planting the roots of something beautiful. And this isn't just about money. It's true in every aspect of life. In love, in trust, in the wholeness of your spirit. When you begin to see things through this lens, you will start to flow with a new stream of energy, a gentle, liberating current filled with fulfillment. I also drew one more card to clarify this message. And the final message the deck wants to offer you is this. To truly align with this flow of blessings, you must allow yourself to receive. Trust in yourself. Open your heart and let the good things in. You are worthy of them. You are valuable. And you don't need to do anything more to deserve them. Because as you are right now, you are already enough to receive the love, the abundance, and the peace the universe is offering you. You are valuable, and that is an undeniable truth. You've left so much along your journey. Right now, you might still think that you haven't created anything significant, that you haven't left a lasting mark. But that's not true. You've created so much already. From within a mind filled with thoughts, you kept moving, kept trying every possible way to move forward. Even if things didn't always succeed, even if you once thought, I've messed everything up, or I ran away, I got hurt, it is precisely those moments that are now forming the foundation for your future blessings. You've done so well. You are truly resilient. And now is the time you deserve to receive the rewards. Accept them, for they are gifts meant just for you. What's coming is not given by chance. It is a well-earned reward for you. The one who has lived persistently, loved persistently, and kept going even when it felt like there was nothing left. Don't ask yourself, do I deserve to be happy? Or am I worthy of receiving these good things? Those questions are no longer needed. Think about it like when you place an order online. You click buy and wait for the package to arrive. And when it does, you don't say, oh no, I don't deserve this. Please send it to the neighbor. Of course not. You open the door. You accept it because it's what you ordered, what you chose, what you paid for. What you are about to receive is just like that, a gift you've sown through years of effort and devotion. You are entirely deserving, truly deserving. That is the message I feel most clearly from the energy of this reading. The seeds you once planted are now preparing to sprout. Prosperous energy is drawing near, and you are stepping into a new current, a flow of abundance and ease. So trust yourself, open your heart, and receive all that rightfully belongs to you. This is your moment to allow yourself to live in fullness, without hesitation, without guilt, simply receiving with a heart full of gratitude and love. Believe in your worth, and feel that truth deep within your soul. Say to yourself, I am worthy of receiving abundance. This abundance flows to me naturally, as part of the universe's rhythm. And when it arrives, let yourself feel the joy. Let that emotion of I'm truly happy rise within you. You may initially have a fleeting thought, do I really deserve something this good? But then, allow the feelings of happiness and gratitude to wash over that thought and gently take its place. And if you're wondering who you should be grateful to, it's not some distant deity or mystical energy. It's you. Be thankful to yourself, the one who has worked so hard to reach this very moment. Say thank you to the version of you from yesterday, from 6 months ago, 3 years ago, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years ago. Thank every version of yourself that ever existed, the ones who never stopped trying, who endured, who chose to keep living with a heart full of courage. You are absolutely capable of doing this. The reading is gently reminding you that if something here resonates deeply, if it touches something within you, then welcome that message. Because these words are meant for you, arriving at the precise moment when you are ready to receive them with an open heart. I'll close this reading for those who chose pile 3 here. If what I've shared has brought you clarity, or even just a moment of insight, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit like to support me. Thank you so much for staying with me all the way to the end of this video. I wish you a truly peaceful and lucky day ahead. See you again in the next reading.